Hi, I'm Andy, aka Googleman, and today we're going to be talking about project management in Google Workspace.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Googleman. Hi everybody and welcome back to aka Googleman. I hope you're all well. Please remember to click on the subscribe button down below just so you get told when my new videos go up. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with some other people as well. And please do check out the other videos on my channel. Now, like I said, we're going to be talking about project management today in Google Workspace. And just to clarify, when I say Google Workspace, I do in fact mean G Suite. It's recently been rebranded by Google, but it is exactly the same thing as we've always been talking about, okay? Specifically from our perspective, G Suite for Education. Now, when it comes to project management in school, I think you need to be fairly flexible on what the term project management means. Because being in education, it will be highly dependent on the role that you take. So from my role as a head of department and a teacher, I'll be looking at things like creating schemes of learning, perhaps going through some quality assurance, doing reports for classes and things like that. And that's all very well if you're higher up in the school. The projects that you will be involved in might be slightly different. You know, anyone perhaps could be involved in some kind of research. That's a project that they might want to do and need to manage when it comes to their time. And we're going to look at how I would do that using Google Workspace. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about Google Tasks and Google Keep. Now, I've spoken about both of these things before, and I've implied that I use those two things in concert. And I'm going to show you what I feel is the most effective way of doing that to help manage a project. If that sounds good to you, let's go have a look. Okay, so here we are looking at how to manage a project using Google Workspace. So if we jump onto my computer screen for a moment, we can see I've just got my emails open here and I have got tasks open on the right hand side of my screen. Now, tasks is absolutely great, okay? I've spoken about how good tasks is in the past, okay? However, if you see something like this on your task list, write SOL, write scheme of learning, that's quite an intimidating singular task because there are lots and lots of different facets that go into writing a scheme of learning. If you're happy to see that, go with it. Me, that doesn't give me enough detail. I want to be able to know more. So perhaps instead of doing that, you would perhaps say create starter, lesson 1, create main, lesson 1. Let's actually make that so these are real words. That would be good. Main lesson 1, create plenary lesson 1, and obviously there'd be more that goes into this. But if you continue that, if you think that a scheme of learning would normally be anywhere from say 6 to possibly even a dozen lessons long, or possibly even more than that depending on your subject, this is going to add up really quickly. And let's say you're doing 6, there will be more than 3 things on there, so you're looking at 18-20 items to do that, and that's okay. You know, it's not an unmanageable number, but you start putting that into Google Tasks, particularly if you're using just the one task list, that's going to become horrible and unwieldy really, really quickly. So we need a better solution. So let's now go have a look at Google Keep instead. I'm just going to create a checklist note here. Okay, I'll link my Google Keep video here. And what I'm going to do is create lesson 1, and then I'm going to indent that and go starter, main, plenary, and I could do the same thing. Lesson 2, go in, starter, main, plenary, and I'll continue like that, and that would be absolutely fine. I now have a complete list. I can even pin it to the top, and this is all very well. But access is now going to be the issue, okay? Because what I want to do is make that accessible from anywhere else. And I want, how is this really going to help me when it comes to getting at any of this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a label for this. And all I need to do here, and you can see all of this before, I'm just going to add a new label, and I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it SOL, create SOL, and then that is tagged on there. Okay, so now that is tagged within the scheme of learning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that label, okay, and I'm actually going to copy the URL from that to my clipboard. And now I'm going to go back to my normal task list, and I'm actually going to get rid of all of these, and I'm actually going to go back to just having create SOL, create scheme of learning. Okay, so I've now condensed it into one thing, but I'm going to go in the details slot. I'm going to put the link for that Google Keep label. Okay, and obviously you could have more than one note in that label if you're making multiple schemes of learning. Okay, and obviously if you are, which likely you are, possibly at the same time, you're possibly rewriting as you go along at the moment because of COVID, you could have several of these, and I've now got a link to that in there, and I can just click on that and it opens that Google Keep label page in there, and I can see my tick list really easily. But why is this helpful? The simple answer that I want to give you is access, because now that that is in Google Tasks, I'm able to access that list from any area of Google Workspace. So if I'm looking at, say, my calendar and I want to look at when I'm going to do something, I want to be able to go into there. I can access tasks on the right hand side of my calendar page. I can do the same thing in Google Drive. I can look at the task list on the right hand side of that page. Okay. It just means I've got really easy access to this complete list. And also what it means, and this is an absolute key for me, is that you can share that Keep task list with other people in your school, your faculty, or whoever you happen to be working with. Okay, I talked about sharing and collaborating in Google Keep in a previous video, and this makes it so if you're assigning jobs to different people, you can just do that through Google Keep. Okay, and they can add that to their own list in whatever way they want to. Okay, but for you it gives you access, and also means by having it in Keep, not just in tasks, you're able to collaborate with them really easily as well. So that's it. I wanted to keep this really short. That's how I would project manage in Google Keep and Google Tasks. Okay, so that's how I would manage projects using Google Workspace. Is it the only way to do it? No, of course it's not. There will be other ways to do that. So if you have a way that you use that is different, or indeed perhaps even better, please let me know. Drop a comment below or go to my website and use the contact form on there. And while you're there, have a look and check out some of my other videos as well. I'll see you all next time. So until then, stay well, stay safe. Googleman out.